Today I'm leaving from Sydney Airport to go to Canada. So I flew Brisbane to Sydney, Sydney then to go to San Francisco, and then San Fran to Vancouver. Thank God for these little trolley things in the airport. Absolute God's gift. Well, this is a little strange. Guys, this is absolutely crazy. If anyone has gone through international, you'll know that getting through security takes like years. It's actually like the hardest bit of going international, and not one person. Like, it is so quiet. It feels like an overnight flight or something, because usually it's not this quiet. And there was like a couple of shops back there and they've just finished up, so it's like 1 PM in the afternoon, so I'm guessing that they only work like maybe like 6 AM or like 9 AM until 1 PM, and then everyone's just gone. Like, what? This is so weird. I mean, best time to fly, because like nobody's flying. They actually, so when I checked in my bags and stuff, they were like, oh, at the moment you're sitting next to someone, but we're gonna move you so that you're sitting on your own because you're going to go for working reasons. So I am now having a whole row to myself, which means full sleeping mode. I'm so excited. But yeah, it's just so crazy to see it. Like, look at this. What?
All those days watching from the windows, all those years outside looking in, how that time never even knowing just how blind I've been. Now I'm here, blinking in the starlight. Now I'm here, suddenly I see, standing here, it's so clear, and where I'm meant to be. And at last I see the light, and it's like the fog is lifted. Yeah, and at last I see the night, and it's like the sky is new. Yeah, that's warm and real and bright, and the world has somehow shifted. All at once, everything looks different now that I see you. All those days chasing down a daydream, all those years living in a blur, how that time never truly seeing things the way they were. Now she's here, shining in the starlight. Now she's here, suddenly I know, if she's here, it's crystal clear, I'm where I'm meant to go.
We interrupt this montage for Walmart delivery. So back home in Australia, I normally do online shopping anyway, because I really hate grocery shopping, and I also always get really distracted in grocery stores. I don't know why, it's just like there's just so much stuff and I just want to look at everything. I'm really weird like that. So I decided that when I got here that I would do the online shopping anyway, because I can't go out for 14 days obviously, and I didn't want to put it on my housemates and rely on people to do the shopping, and then I can just take care of my own money and things like that. So I decided to go on to the grocery store websites. I did Walmart and Superstore, I think it's called Superstore, grocery store, and got them delivered. So they've just come this morning. I got some coconut oil for cooking. I wanted to try this spinach dip. My mum makes a really good spinach dip, so we'll see if it compares. A Japanese purple sweet potato, because you cut these down the middle and like bake it open and then add some butter to it, and oh my gosh, so good. And then just some mince for pasta, pretty good price. Got some Walmart, some rice. I could resist. I'm just making up a smoothie now for breakfast, and then I've got to call the Canada Health every single day to do like a symptom check-in for COVID. So that's a fun time.
Again, please press star. We'll be going through 4 of the important ones now. After you've heard these requirements, you'll be asked to complete your check-in. Requirement 1. You must stay at your place of quarantine or isolation other than for the exceptions listed in the emergency order on mandatory isolation. Requirement 2. You cannot go for a walk in your neighborhood or go to shared public spaces.
It's actually so nice and sunny today. It is now morning of day 4. 10 days to go. I think the last like 12 to 24 hours has probably been the absolute hardest. Just because no one's been in the house, or like they've just been in their rooms and things like that. So I guess having such a big change and then coming to a new place and then being just like completely 100% alone has been really challenging. I joined like a couple of like 14-day quarantine groups on Facebook and did a little post on there, and some people shared their stories with me about what they've had to go through in quarantine, and honestly I am so grateful that I have not had it to the extent. Again, like my last video, I'm like, I've had it pretty good considering, and I'm struggling. So for people who are really struggling out there, oh my gosh, this is just crazy. Like, I don't think people realize how hard it really is to go through the 14 days of like isolation or being alone. Obviously I'm really lucky that I get to do it in my new house and not in a hotel in Canada, but even though, like, it's still challenging, and I guess that's just because I've had a lot of change as well, and then just having to process it all and having no choice really other than to sit with it. Yeah, it's a lot. So the last 12 to 24 hours has been the absolute hardest, I think, and I'm feeling a lot better now, which is why I thought I'd come on and chat to wrap up this video. But yeah, I don't know. Just trying to stay in a positive mindset. It can be really hard when that negativity really takes over your mind, and to get out of that pit by yourself can be really hard as well. So I had a shower, ate some food, got up at a proper time to fix my sleeping pattern, and all of those things are going to have an effect of how you feel too. So I just really hope I love it here. And even if not, like, at least I came and I gave it a go and I worked it out, and at least I know it's a good or a bad time. I was saying to lots of my friends before I left, like, I don't know how I felt about coming here, so when you're not really prepared, you just kind of leave it blank. You know, sometimes you kind of have an idea of how it's going to go, or a thought about how it's going to go, and you kind of make the scenario in your head, and then you walk into it, you're like, yeah, this is kind of what I predicted. I just didn't do that at all. I just like kind of booked it and then just didn't think about it, so it's all kind of just unfolding. And yeah, it's very interesting for sure to go through. But I think anyone who travels and does this working holiday life, the first few days is always like, oh my god, like it's a culture shock, it's a change, it's a totally new place. It's not like you can just drive home or walk home. Like, I think everyone gets this feeling of like, oh my god, what have I just done? And you're like, did I do the right thing? Why is this happening to me? Why did I choose to do this? And things like that. So all of that comes with like working holidays. I had it in Japan, obviously had it now. Even just going to New South Wales, sometimes I'm like, oh my god, what am I doing here? So it gets better, and obviously Japan was much harder because of the language barrier and different things like that, but I still loved it, and it was the best time ever. And I probably would I do it again? I'd probably do it again. So it's just the first 4 days, like, just got to get through that part and that negative mindset and just push through and just be patient. I'm such an impatient person. I'm like, okay, just be patient. Anyway, that's the first video here in Canada. So I'll leave on a positive note. Feeling much better today, feeling good. Gonna try and do a workout and maybe watch some shows and things like that. I don't watch TV normally, so I've literally just been sitting on my phone by myself for like the last 24 hours, so I know that I need to help myself a little bit more. And yeah, I will see you in the next update.